Hey, it's Tara. Today I'm going to talk about John Brunner's The Shockwave Writer. The Shockwave Writer was published in 1975 and it is a cyberpunk novel. It was a little bit ahead of its time, so since it was published before cyberpunk, the term was coined, it wasn't considered a cyberpunk novel, but I absolutely would consider it cyberpunk. The book was set about 40 years in the future, so about now, I guess. And Nikki Haflinger is a sort of hacker. He was institutionalized as a child, and he was raised and experimented on to become super intelligent and capable of manipulating data and things like that. In this world, a data net kind of circles the globe and encompasses everything. One is able to completely change one's identity by accessing the net and changing one's identification number, which Nikki is able to do. The story follows him as he is changing and running from discovery. However, one can only run for so long, and shortly after the beginning of this book, he is on the run for his life, or I guess his freedom. So we follow him as he does that. The world in this book is very interesting. It's an awful lot like today with, the lifestyle. People who plug in, they try to keep up with current fashions and trends, so they are constantly changing what their homes look like on the inside, but also they're constantly moving and changing jobs. I think social etiquette requires that they change their jobs and homes like every 6 months, moving across the country and things like that. So it's a very transient sort of society that is in place right now. Another cool thing about this book is the Delphi Oracle, which is from Greek mythology, but what they use it for is a sort of stock market / betting pool for social change, social and political change. You make bets on what you think is going to happen, and then the government changes things according to that, but they also control people's thoughts and perceptions of what will happen in the future by hacking the boards and, inserting false data. There's also, the internet and worms, like viruses, that John Brunner is able to sort of predict. There's also a lot of commentary on ecology and natural disasters, global warming. I think the society mostly runs on electricity and basically not fossil fuels. There's also been a replacement of the arms race with the brain race, trying to get the most intelligent hacker, I guess, so that you are able to control the internet data, whatever, of other countries. So there is a lot going on in this book that's really interesting. The concepts are great. The things that it asks you to think about are really interesting. The story itself is kind of plodding, and I didn't have trouble getting through the book, but I did have trouble wanting to keep reading avidly. So I think I gave it 3 stars. It's just, middle of the road for me. I really liked the concepts. I didn't really love the story, and there were some inconsistencies that I found a little troubling, but overall this is a sci-fi cult classic sort of thing, and I do think it's interesting as a precursor for cyberpunk. So if you're interested in cyberpunk, I would recommend The Shockwave Writer. If you've read this book, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. There are so many articles about this book, so I'm sure you will have no difficulty finding conversations about it, but of course I am also happy to talk to you about it, and I guess that's it. So today was The Shockwave Writer by John Brunner, an interesting cyberpunk novel. Anyways, until next time.